to No Movies in Hell.
I'm LaClaw Scott, and today we are reviewing Thor Love and Thunder.
So this is the third Thor movie.
Fourth.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I guess I lost track. But it was definitely in the trailers promoted as a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very 80s feeling
Yes.
in both the look and the sound of it. I thought it was fun.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, it's weird because if you look at like Thor's kind of trajectory, it's like, or no, maybe you're right. Maybe it is. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Maybe it is the third movie, because the first one, he's like it's very serious. It's very dark. And then with Ragnarok, like that's like the splashy, fun, it's directed by Taika. And then this one, it's the same thing, but it's like even more fun, and more sillier than Ragnarok.
Yeah. So one of my favorite parts was the goats. And none of it really made sense, right? Like even more so than any other comic book movies, I would say. It just didn't have to make sense.
But fun fact, the goats are actually part of the comic book like lore. Like they were part of the comic books. Like he gets the two goats, and it's also in, I guess, like the Thor, the original like non superhero
Like the
mythology, yes.
Okay.
And then it's funny because back when the internet was innocent, all we did was look at screaming goat videos, I feel like, on like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and that was like fun before things start getting super serious and kind of weird.
Yes. Maybe I missed that part of the internet. I don't remember the screaming goat phase, but this was definitely fun. And I thought Christian Bale was good.
Oh yeah, he's a great villain. Yeah, it's like, so the Gore the Butcher, I don't know much about his backstory, but it is terrifying. And I liked the special effects around like how he just kind of took light and moved things into darkness, and the shadows, especially like when they were walking on like the planet. I was just like, this is actually a really cool like special effect. But I really like, in the beginning, his vulnerability and like him trusting into like the gods, and the gods are like letting him down, or specifically that god. And then he's just like, I gotta do something about it. And it's interesting because I feel like so many people have that perspective of like, oh, gods sit on, they're almighty and don't care about the people that they're supposed to protect, or and this kind of proved his point, which is like, I kind of wanted him to win, but of course it's not gonna.
All of the cameos were great. I was like, oh, I know that is.
I love when they do. I could watch a whole series on them just doing the reenactments of the story of like Thor, but I loved seeing like Melissa McCarthy. I was just like, what? Oh my gosh, this is so funny.
The thing about having so many great cameos is that even people who are not doing cameo appearance, just like side characters, I'm like looking like, is that somebody? Most of the time it's not, right? So
yeah.
It's very much distracting me from the movie sometimes, because I'm so like, wait, I want to make sure I'm like not missing anything. And it took, I didn't ever figure out who the other guy was in the Melissa McCarthy Damon thing. I had to look it up online after. But yeah, so it was great. It was a Sunday morning well spent. There weren't very many people in the theater, so that was nice. I like the thing about Q&As is I love going to them, and it's so fun to see people talk about their work and how like how excited they are to be there a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't like being crowded. Like those are always sold out shows.
Yeah.
You're crowded in, you have to get there super early. there are pros and cons to everything, but I really enjoyed going Sunday morning. It was still out in Dolby Digital, so I got to see it still in a very nice theater. But there were only like 10 of us maybe in the whole theater, so it was
Oh, that's good.
a good watching experience. So it's nice to have those two different types of movie going experiences. Let's go to the slide.
All right. I don't remember what I put for this one.
So you really like this one.
Yes, actually I did. I really liked a lot of the cinematography and like the production of it, because I'm sure that they had to film. I'm sure like they had to film in Australia, because I feel like Australia was like the only place that was responsible throughout the pandemic. And it's, it's clear there's a lot of special effects. But I think, as I mentioned, like when they get to that planet where they're confronting Gore, like that was just so stand out to me. I think I'm on this kick where I want to see interesting lighting and like, more compelling production because of the pandemic. It's just easy to throw a green screen and like have people do things. I like the acting. Like I thought Valkyrie's character was really cool, and that she was king of like the new, oh my gosh, I forgot what their planet was
Asgard.
called. Yes, Asgard. And it was really cool to see like Jane come back, and like it was kind of sad to know like what was going on and the reason why she needed to be with Milner. And then like all the goofy stuff of like her and Thor's like backstory. So I just thought that that was great. Yeah. How about you? You was just like a little down the middle for you.
So I liked the acting, the cinematography. I mean, I liked everything, but to me, it was just average, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you have such high expectations for production value and special effects for these types of movies. It met all of those, but it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was over the top stellar. I did like I would definitely recommend Raider's Choice and Story. Like, I liked both of those things, even though the story had a lot of holes. It was just fun. And I really liked when he recruits the army of children.
Oh
That's
yes.
like the army of children is like the source of many horror films. So I
Children of the
thought,
Corn type
right,
situation.
right. So the usage of the army of children was great. I was surprised when, like, if he has the power to do that, why he hasn't ever done it before.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I think he realized this time around that he can't be the end all be all. Like he has to distribute his wealth, and maybe that's how he saw it with Jane, and how she formed a bond with his former hammer, and then it was empowering the children because they're the next generation, and giving them a sense of hope, because they don't, they're like homeless, and then they find settlement, and then they're all kidnapped. And then it's like, well, what do I do? Like, and then it's like, grab something and empower yourself, like a teddy bear or whatever, to fight back, which I thought was so cool. So I liked that aspect of like empowering the children to kind of defend themselves, because I feel like that's where the trajectory of these new Marvel films and TV shows are going, of like empowering the next generation so that they don't have to sit and wonder or cry about like their superhero that's there to defend their universe. So
Definitely.
yeah.
But overall, we gave it a pretty good score.
Yes.
I think comparatively to what we've been scoring things recently, especially.
Man, I wonder what has the lowest score. Huh.
I should go back and look. I mean, we
I
can
think I
definitely
can
find
name
that.
one off the top of it. I think it'd probably be Eternals for me, but
Oh, yeah, that one didn't do great. The other one, like X, didn't do great. Do
yeah.
you have anything to plug in this episode?
I do not. We'll be reviewing Nope soon, so that's that's what's going on here. What about you? Do you have anything to plug?
Um, I Heart Korean Movies is doing another event. Actually, we're gonna have a couple coming up. So the next one that's on the meetup event page is I Haven't Done Anything. It's at Asia Society this coming Sunday. It's the evening performance, but not the late evening performance. So the late evening performance is the New York Asian Film Festival show closer. And that one's sold out. It's called Alienoid. Also a Korean movie, but completely sold out and doesn't start until like 10, I think.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, so I was not having that on a Sunday night. But I'm going to the one that's right before that. So I think that starts at like 6:30. But you can check out the meetup group, I Heart Korean Movies, if you're in New York and you want to join us. Get your tickets soon though, because I think that one's going to sell out too. There is a Q&A associated with that. There are a couple. When I was at the theater this weekend, I saw a couple promos for Korean movies that are coming out. Hansan Rising says that it has a big promotional poster up, and that's also part of the New York Asian Film Festival. I think coming up this week sometime, but it'll be at AMC in August. And then one called Emergency Declaration, which is a plane horror movie, which looks interesting. It seems like that from the trailer, it's about, I guess there's some sort of illness on the plane and they have to quarantine like on the plane. The plane is not allowed to land anywhere. Like no country will accept this plane of sick passengers.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah. So it looks interesting from a premise perspective. Because that could very easily happen right now, right? Like you have a plane full of people who have monkeypox. Where are you gonna land? All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.